So we're welcoming the University of North Carolina women's basketball team to the stage. We have Courtney Bankhart in her season with North Carolina, so have Deja Kelly as well as Alyssa Usby on stage with us, just for everyone in attendance. If you do have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll make sure to get a mic to you. But we will start with the amazing race that you just made up here. So I know that you're a big athlete. You got some nice kicks getting up here, but I feel like that's just the I guess, identity of you and this team as well. It's so funny seeing you guys rush in here, but also the poise that each player has coming here. So just as far as a team, one of 8 teams that made it to the NCAA tournament a season ago, we've talked from, I think now 4 different coaches that talked about the ACC being the most prominent and dominant conference within this country. So when you're looking at how you guys can build this season, what does that look like for you guys?
You know, we give a lot of credit to the ACC as a whole because this is a league where stars come because stars want to play stars. And so the players in this league are going to challenge these guys and get them better night after night. And then the coaches are both competitive and prepared. So you, as a coach, you're being sharpened as well. And the goal is just that, you know, I've been in this business a long time. It's how you do it in March and April. And so we're doing the groundwork of what we should be doing in October, so that we can be where we need to be in March, in April.
Just a few seasons ago, I remember having a conversation with you, and you're like, no one really expected us to be a great team. No one expected us to make the noise that we were making. And now, 3 years of the road, and it's like everyone knows what UNC is going to bring to the table, but you're also adding, with the 3 returning starters, 8 new faces. And I had to double check that. I was like, is it really 8 newcomers to the roster? So what that looks like for you guys this season, the new additions, how you infuse that into your game plan, what can we be excited for? What can we look forward to?
You know, acquiring talent is certainly one of my main responsibilities, but it's also theirs, right? They've created a style of play and a culture that people want to be a part of. So we were able to attract 3 really talented transfers and really good people, competitors. I give a lot of credit to the courage, the people to my left. Deja and Alyssa have dreamt big in this program, right? They've wanted, and their intentions their actions have matched their intentions, right? And so we're very purposely here. And then when you think about the additions of our rookies and our transfers, they were instrumental. These are people want to play with, and they've handled themselves in the right way. So I love our roster. We're the most competitive team I've had since I've been at Carolina. We're the deepest team I've had since I've been at Carolina, and we hope we'll be the most well-led since I've been at Carolina. You know, we've got a lot of good leadership qualities to have really grown in that role. So, you know, everyone's excited about their team. I'm going to focus on mine, and I'm sure glad that I've got that locker room.
I love that you said the leadership, because as these players have continued to grow into their years, I know it. Deja Kelly, I was like, wow, she's done an incredible job, you know, on the defensive end, and you can see the leadership. And you said, I want you to tell her that, because that's something that you've worked on. So Deja, for you, one of the hardest working women. I don't know if you've had any off time at this point, but for you, I mean, just knowing that all the eyes are on you, the nods that you've gotten nationally as well as within this conference. I mean, what's the next step for you in your game?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing, or my biggest growth step that I've really been focusing on, is my leadership. I think being able to, sorry, this is like, I don't know. I think just being able to pour that into our younger ones, to our newcomers. I think because I have been in this league so long, and I have just had to go through those growth steps myself, because I had to lead myself first. I think that's the biggest conversations that me and Coach Banghart have had, is making sure that I was on top of all of my stuff, and making sure that I could lead myself before I could lead others. And I think that that has been my next growth step, and that's something that I'm really leaning into that role a lot. And I think I'm starting to do a pretty good job at the start of the season, so I'm looking forward to the start of games.
I think it's really awesome too, because it's you in a very unique situation when you look at the grand scope of just being a student athlete and the balance of it all. So you're looking at NIL, you're looking at different things on being a leader and being an example in your locker room, but also how you can build on that and using your brand. What have you learned about how to balance all of that to be an example in your locker room?
Yeah, I think just knowing that I have to keep the main thing the main thing. I know what has gotten me all of those opportunities is basketball and school. So I know that can't really interfere, and knowing that keeping the business side kind of separate, but also knowing that it all mixes in a way. But yeah, just also making sure that my teammates know that I am still, I'm there for them. I'm working hard as well on my part to make sure that I'm giving my whole to the team. And so I think that that's super important. And I know that anything that's lacking, it just can't. I just know it just can't. Like, I really don't have a choice but to balance it. But no, I think I've done a pretty good job. Like you said, I don't remember when I have had an off day or an off time. But I think that's the beauty of it, because it just shows that that hard work is paying off in a way. And I'm really happy to share that with my team as well.
And then this young lady to your left, Alyssa Usby, and what you've been in your season and career, joining the 1,000 point club. I know you have 3 players now on your roster that are in that club, but for you, one of the most versatile players, not just in the ACC, but Coach talks about how you're that Swiss Army knife and doing so many things well. I don't know, did you play 4 different sports? I have to go down the line of all the things that you have done, but for you and just how you want to be different. I know, I do recall you only missing 1 game, I think, last.
No,
Like,
you missed a lot of games. I
You were
remember
like,
them
wait a
all.
minute.
Yeah, me too.
We got the L's, the ones where we had the L's. Yeah.
Missed a couple.
Knowing your impact on this team, what do you feel like your role is, and how does that expand?
I feel like my role is really whatever the team calls for. And so whatever Coach Banghart asks me to do, what's needed from my teammates, whether it's specifically for that game or that season. So stepping into the roles of just being a competitive worker and inspiring my teammates to do the same, because that's just something that's really important to us. And we have a collective understanding that if we all come together, we compete well together, then we'll go far.
And I want to stay with the players too, because we'll hear from the coaches and the philosophy and what you want the season to be. But if you're looking to build for both of you, what do you think that this team can do in this season?
I think we can do a lot. I think just with the 8 new pieces that we have, I think everyone brings their own competitive nature, which I think is huge to have on a really good team, because we're battling every single day. We're competing against each other and building off of those strengths and weaknesses of each other. So I think that that is something that will gel us really well, because we all are like-minded and have the same goals. So I think that being able to hold each other accountable in those ways and being able to help each other reach those goals as well, I think will be huge.
In addition, communication is something that's really important, and all of us have agreed that this year we're going to commit to learning how to communicate better with one another inside the lines and outside the lines as well, because we realize that that's a really important component for successful teams.
So with the 8 new faces, I was reading that it takes some time to build the chemistry. So can you explain a little bit about this pickleball tournament that you guys hosted?
Yeah, so the last day of workouts, we surprised them with a pickleball tournament. And so they picked names out of a hat and played. And watching, 5'9" to all the way to 6'5" play pickleball was hilarious. We left some scratches on the court for sure. But there's long wingspans and super competitive nature. So that was one of the many kind of fun things that we've done. Wiffle ball tournaments, what was that? Whitewater rafting. I mean,
Yes.
these guys are doers. They're livers, and they've got a lot of layers to them. So we've really had a blast getting everybody connected.
Yeah, I saw that, the whitewater rafting right here in Charlotte,
Yeah,
right?
we came right here. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's like no joke. So we had gone on the New River up in West Virginia a couple years ago, and it was just remarkable. And I think there was a class 4, maybe there was a part of it was class 5. So we came into this arena or this venue, and we said, we want to give it to them, right? Man, we're not doing that again. She fell out. India fell out twice. Coach fell out. I mean, yeah, we're better on the basketball court, let's put it that way.
Very good on the basketball court, I will say. So I will go back to you ladies, just about how those moments when you can laugh and you can kind of show the personality and get to know other people, how that can translate for you guys on the court and what you've already seen. I know it's limited time that you've been on the court together, but already what you have seen as far as what you guys can be as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, I think those moments, those small games that we play, just things like that, to be able to show each other's personality, I think is huge, because I think that plays just as big of a role as our on-court performance as well, because for us to be able to bond like that and be able to laugh together and go through the fun times together, we know that we're going to have to go through the hard times together as well, and to be able to know how to pick each other up and lift each other up in those moments. So I think that those games and the rafting, I think that all plays a big part, because it just gives us a chance to bond and learn about each other in a different way and in a different environment. So I think it'll definitely carry over.
And you guys will be tested early.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a gentle reminder.
Yeah,
You can, when you're looking at now the SEC ACC Challenge, having South Carolina as one of those teams that you'll be able to take the floor against, and then also the Jumpman Classic right here. You guys are building a home here at this point.
Tell me about it. You
For the
bet.
Invitational. What are those matchups? How do they help you early in the season to kind of gauge where you are?
Yeah, I mean, critical. We've got, the game right before South Carolina, if we advance in the tournament in Thanksgiving, we've got Iowa, right? And then 2 games later, UConn, right? And then, of course, we've got Kansas State, that's a neutral site, and Jumpman here in Charlotte, neutral site, Oklahoma. And so a couple things. One, when you have a good team, you want to play good teams, right? And you also want, it's really good for our game, right? The viewership and the media in the country want good teams playing good teams. And so we've got a good team now. So we want to make sure that we are helping grow the game in the ways that we're responsible for, right? And then also you've got the opportunity to get ready for what is the gauntlet of the ACC. Right, and we've got to be able to be prepared, and we got to take some hits in stretches to ensure that we're tough enough and we're resilient enough, and we just got to find out a little bit more about the margins, right? Because the margins are what separate these top 10 teams from each other, right? And so we're going to learn a lot about our margins, we think, as we prepare for ACC play.
Alyssa, I wanted to go back to you, and when you hear your coach say, we have an opportunity to grow the game, when people are looking to you and young women are watching the game and saying, okay, I want to be that. How does that resound with you? What does that feel like, knowing that you are a difference maker for, what this game is?
It's just an incredible opportunity to even know that younger girls and just people in general are looking up to myself and my teammates, and that just kind of gives you another reason to keep showing up and to working hard, because not only are we doing it for ourselves and each other, but we're doing it for the community and to grow something that's much bigger than ourselves.
I know that you played all 5 positions at some point in your career. Are we going to see 3s this year? What is different about your game?
Yeah, definitely expanding out to the 3 is something I've been working really hard on over the summer, and I'm excited.
Okay. Just wanted to quickly go to the audience if you have a question. Okay, perfect.
Ariel Bonham, Tar Heel Tribune. Courtney, when you saw Alyssa in high school, what did you see that the recruiting rankers nationally didn't see?
Yeah.
And what has she done in her first 3 seasons in Chapel Hill to surprise you?
Yeah, the things I saw when I first saw Alyssa were the relentlessness and the athleticism, right? If you give me those 2 things with her size, the rest is history, right? But the kid's a winner. She's won in everything she's ever done, right? And so I remember when we first got her, she wasn't as highly ranked as she should have been, and kind of then after she led us in minutes her freshman year, right? And people are like, how'd you get Alyssa Usby? And I said, because none of y'all wanted her, right? And so I just saw a winner that was relentless, athletic, and wired in a way that I say here that you want to recruit kids you can lose with, right? Because if you can lose with them, you won't lose very often. And that's a kid I can walk down any tunnel after a game and know she gave me everything she got, right? Those are the kids we want in our program. And in terms of what I've seen and what I've been able to watch in terms of Alyssa is she's gone from being a great athlete to a great basketball player. And that has been just with work. She can run the floor and she can be versatile. She can also play the game. She can change her pace. She's extended her range. She can finish with her right and left. She's got great footwork in the post. She uses the angles defensively. And so the kid has used her desire to be great at anything to make her a great basketball player. And that's been really fun to be part of that process.
Thank you for the question, and thank you for giving us all those amazing things to say about her on the broadcast as well.
Thank you.
So, ladies, I know it's a busy day. That will conclude for you guys on the stage, so thank you so much for your time.
Good. Go Heels. Thank you.
Thank you.